So the first tier on my Patreon is a $5 monthly subscription of mutual aid. The $5 monthly Patreon is where you'll be able to see early release access videos of what you're seeing now, also with extended versions of these very same videos. Today I have some cuttings here. This is basically a clone of one plant to make more of that plant. So you can do this generally with most plants. So here on this table is Pele. They call this Pele Lau Pele. Basically it's just a tree spinach. These ones are pink stem, these ones are purple stem, this comes from the same one, and then these are just the regular green ones. And I love these ones because they get so big and glossy and shiny, they just look so prehistoric. These things are also like super nutrient dense greens that a lot of people don't know about and don't like eating because of the texture and consistency of them. They get real slimy. But the key to that is just cooking it down really well, and you're able to get those dark leafy greens into your diet. These things grow like weed. I know personally where we're at in our climate, it's really hot and dry. These things still do good. I mean, if they're established well, this thing is a strong tree that's just gonna keep giving more and more dark leafy greens, which is awesome. So I want more of that around. I have a variety of this right over there. So this one also came from a cutting, which is really amazing. It's like almost as tall as me now. This one isn't as slimy, so you can straight up like eat it from the tree, which is really fun and awesome. But this is just an example of why we do this. This tree that is almost as tall as me is no longer annual spinach, but perennial spinach year round, year after year. I can come and grab these leaves and eat from them and have this food for me, this dark leafy green, this nutrient dense substance. So that's awesome. So these are essentially that. But instead of just green, I like adding pops of color. They add the whole vibe to the entrance of the garden. They make people want to be around. You know, colors excite your eyes, so why not have variations? And within those different pigmentations hold different minerals and nutrients, which is that's cool too, right? So how do you get a cutting? So these things are super easy because they have nodes on them. Nodes are like the beginning growth part of a plant that bush out and become the leaves, the branch, and then eventually the stem. So these ones are already cut. I saved these two to show you how to properly cut a propagation. So if it's really small, say you're like doing like a delicate something, and if it's just like this, you could use this pocket knife. If I really wanted to propagate this one arm, I could. So make sure your knife is always sharp, and then just put this either in water or soil to root. Pele grows super easy. Like if this was the last Pele in the world and I absolutely wanted to make the maximum amount of cuttings from this, I could cut them inch by inch as long as I'm right below a node. But I wouldn't be using this. I would be using these pruners, which are more ideal. But I like to just keep them afoot. I already have a lot here. I don't want to overwhelm myself. So talking about our other plant, we have Cassava. These are two different variations of Cassava. They both started off as super long cuttings. I cut this one already from my nursery. I saved this one to show for you guys. So I'm just gonna find where the first node comes out, cut directly under it, angular. Find the second node, cut directly under that. Find another node under that, another node, and just repeat this process. You never want to, and this is super important because it's like put someone upside down in their food bowl to feed them, you know, like they can't eat with their feet, they eat with their mouths. So same with plants, like they need to be able to get what they need from these growth nodes at the bottom. So never propagate something upside down. It just won't work, and you'll just have a stick in a pot for months wondering why like nothing's happening. Because that's happened to me before. And they gave me a bunch of cuttings, they cut them for me, and I didn't know which side was up, which side was down. So I had a few months later, some of them worked and some of them didn't. So I kind of learned my lesson from that. And then over the time, you get a better eye for finding where the nodes are. So this one is the same variety of this purple one. Cut! Woo! Woo! And these are just, you know, gymongous versions of what we just did. Pop quiz. Which way I plant this? This way or this way? All right, you guessed right. This way. And this one is cheating because you can tell. This is why I also leave some of the leaves on purposely, because that way I can see like which way the leaves are growing up. So I know that it's going like this. But they're not absolutely necessary. Like you could rip them off if you want and they would just grow the same. Now which way? This way or that way? No, I'm just kidding. This soil is nothing special too. This isn't a super sensitive, rare, delicate thing to where I want to have super nutrient dense sanitary soil. So I have 3 bigger pots here. I just walked around the property and put rocks in them. They're just further like aeration, filtration, not to use up. These pots are super big, but these big ones have big stems, so I can't put them in the cells. So I'm just gonna like plug 2 in there just like that. And it's that easy. I also want to show this one has no nodes. No nodes, no growth. So this would be useless. This is probably in between a node to top and the bottom. So this is nothing.